In one of my recent videos, I built the cheapest rooftop tent, and today we are going to be testing it out for the first time. Welcome to beautiful Central Oregon, where I am heading out on a little overnight camping trip, testing out the cheapest rooftop tent. So if you haven't already seen it, there's a part 1 to this series where I actually built the rooftop tent. This thing looks absolutely hilarious. It's basically just a platform on the top of my Sequoia. So the Sequoia is here behind me, and we are heading out camping. First goal for today is to find a location to camp. Well, I found a location to camp for tonight. Just this area out here in the Deschutes National Forest. I was trying to park close to the trees here because I think I'm also going to set up my hammock as well. But the first thing and the main purpose of this video is to test out the cheapest rooftop tent. I am going to jump right in now to setting up the rooftop tent and getting this thing together. And in the process, we'll show you guys a little bit about the rooftop tent and how I created this hilarious thing. The whole rooftop tent is based around this tent here. And if you don't know what this is the cheapest tent on Amazon. Now, a couple weeks ago, I went camping in this tent, and it was a surprisingly okay experience. Now, was it the greatest? Absolutely not. This tent is tiny. I had to sleep at an angle, and it's just super small on the inside. But nonetheless, it was a nice and very fun camping trip, even with a $16 tent. The $16 tent is now back. We are camping in it for the second time. The only difference is we're camping on the roof. This tent is relatively easy to put together, and I've done it a couple of times now, so I think I'm starting to get the hang of it, but it's only 2 tent poles, so how hard could it really be? To make sure this tent doesn't fly away while you're camping in it, I've created these brackets that are mounted up to the top of this platform. And then I have these S-style carabiner clips, and these clip in to hold the tent in place. You can think of these kind of as the tent stakes. With the cheapest rooftop tent, there is absolutely no benefit to putting it up here. If anything, the setup time is worse. It takes longer than just pitching a tent and putting it on the ground. And that's what makes it so funny. It completely gets rid of all of the benefits of having your traditional rooftop tent. It takes longer to set up. You can't keep it up there. You have to take it down every time you want to drive around. You have to attach to the platform. That takes a while. The overall process is much longer, and there really is no point of putting this tent up here. It's just your traditional ground tent. The only difference is it's on the roof of my Sequoia. While traditional rooftop tents typically come with ladders or some type of way to easily and safely climb up and down from the roof of your vehicle, with the cheapest rooftop tent, however, you get the fun challenge of creating your own path. Now that our rooftop tent is pretty much set up, let's throw in our mattress, sleeping bag, and turn this thing into a cozy tent where we'll sleep tonight. Gosh, I forgot how small this thing really is. And it's definitely not the most efficient process having to climb up here and jump down every single time to put my sleeping bag and everything in the tent. Well, here it is, the cheapest rooftop tent. Now I'm gonna bring you guys up here and give you guys a little tour. This rooftop tent immediately offers a fun challenge. And that starts with just trying to figure out how the heck you get up here. Now, if you can manage to get yourself up here onto the little platform, this is the main surface that the tent sits on. It's held on just by some U-bolts and bolted directly to my Sherpa rack. I did a full video making this whole platform, making the cheapest rooftop tent. So if you're interested, go check that one out. I added some turf as well because what rooftop tent isn't complete without a front lawn? So we got the turf set up to finish it off. And then, of course, the main star of this whole setup here is the cheapest tent on Amazon. So here it is, the $16 special Amazon tent, aka the cheapest tent on Amazon. And I went camping in this thing a few weeks ago, and tonight it's back for part 2. So this is it. It is extremely small. You have to sleep at an angle if you want to camp in this thing, which is so funny. And even still, last time I camped in it, my feet were pressed into the end of it all night long. So we'll see how it goes for tonight. But I'm excited to give this tent another shot here. Coming into the inside of the tent, there's nothing special about it. The coolest feature, which I figured out last time, is probably this little pocket on the side for your phone, wallet, keys, whatever you want in here. We got a little bit of a view of the sky. That's the only ventilation in this tent besides the single door. And then, of course, if you watched the first video, you're familiar with this, but this tent has a 3-zipper system, 1 vertical, 2 horizontal. Why they did this system, I still don't know. That is it, guys. That is a tour here of the cheapest rooftop tent. Being up here, the very first thing I'm noticing is how nice it is to actually have a flat and smooth surface to put a tent on. It feels a lot more comfortable on the inside than it does camping on the ground. There aren't any rocks. It's a nice big flat surface with some turf, which makes it a little bit softer as well. So yeah, actually, surprisingly, pretty comfy in here. Still can't get over how wild this thing looks. It just looks so funny seeing your normal tent mounted to the top of the Sequoia. But honestly, the biggest thing I'm noticing right now is that it is extremely difficult to get in and out of this. The Sequoia is already super tall with the lift and bigger tires, so the roof is very high up, and I haven't found any great way to really get up and down from there. But if you just forget the fact that you can't really safely get in and out of the tent, it honestly seems to work really well, and I'm excited to test it out tonight. One of my new favorite camping items that I recently acquired is a hammock. So we're gonna set this thing up. Another reason I love the Sherpa rack is you can tie your hammock off to the side of it, so I can connect it from the Sherpa rack to the tree here. So let's go ahead and set this hammock up, and then our camp will pretty much be complete. Part of the reason I love this hammock so much is that the setup time is extremely fast. It's easy to set up, it's easy to put away. and welcome to our camp. Got the hammock set up here. This thing is so awesome. This is one of my favorite purchases when it comes to camping equipment recently, especially in the spring and summer with warmer weather. And then of course, the rooftop tent, the cheapest rooftop tent, is all set up and ready for its first night camping. This video is really just testing it out for the first time, seeing what works with it, seeing what changes I might need to make. But if it goes well and you guys enjoy the video, drop a comment below, let me know, and maybe I'll take this out on some more camping adventures in the future. It's about 7 o'clock now, so I'm going to get started with some dinner. I had such a crazy busy week with work, working on YouTube videos and just some other stuff going on, so I never had the chance to go to the store. So we are just cooking boxed mac and cheese tonight, just keeping it really easy. Our water is boiling, so we're ready for step 2. This is where things get tricky. We gotta add in the pasta. With the pasta boiling, I think this calls for a camp setup tour. I love doing these quick little walkthroughs for you guys to kind of give you a better idea of what the location is like where I'm camping. So let's take a step back here. I'll flip you around. Here is where we are camping right now. The Sequoia is just parked over here by these trees. Now, if we walk over this way, we have the hammock set up between the Sherpa rack and this tree over here. The hammock is amazing. I love this thing. I know I said that a couple times now, but super happy to have the hammock with me here. Sequoia is parked up, looking beautiful as usual. And on top, this is where the new special guest for tonight is. This is the cheapest rooftop tent. I know I've given you guys a little bit of a walkthrough already, but just wanted to show you guys again because it honestly looks so funny. I think it actually looks kind of cool, but it also looks a little bit ridiculous sitting up there on the top of the Sequoia. Now, if we come around to the back of the Sequoia, this is where I have my overland setup. And if you're new to my channel, I built these overland drawers in September of last year and have loved them so much. They're both on heavy duty sliders and they're great for cooking. I keep so much of my camping gear, utensils, everything in these drawers. I can also sleep in the back. It also acts as a platform. I'll show you guys that real quick if you're new. This has carpet on the inside here, and it flips out so that you can sleep in the back if you would like. So that is kind of a tour of the camp setup for tonight. Gorgeous location out here in the Deschutes National Forest, and this spot is only about 20 to 25 minutes from my home, which is so amazing and why I'm loving Central Oregon so much. That is a big bee. Our boxed mac and cheese is done. Am I proud of it? Absolutely not, but this is exactly what I needed after a long and busy week at work. It seems I've failed to remember that with boxed mac and cheese, it's really only good for the first couple of bites. I've been eating it for a little bit now, and I think it's safe to say this is up there for one of the worst camping meals I've made on this channel. I forgot, this stuff does not taste very good. I've eaten as much of this as I could without making myself sick. So the rest of it I'm going to put in a container as leftovers, which really just means it's going to sit in the fridge for a couple of days before I throw it away. Let's go ahead and clean up this disgusting mess. This doesn't even look like food. I am finally all cleaned up with dinner. I think it's time for something more enjoyable than that mac and cheese. A white nectarine and a hammock. Guys, I have an idea of a new way to get into the rooftop tent. This seems like a very bad idea, but I have to at least try it, right? Oh my god. Alright, we're not gonna do that. I really have no plans tonight besides just relaxing out here. Like I said, it's been a busy week at work and I am very, very tired. So this is exactly what I need, just some time to reset and relax out here in the forest. So I'm hoping it's not absolutely freezing tonight. I don't think it should be too cold. The past couple days in Bend though, it's been down to 30 degrees at night and in the mornings. It was almost snowing the other day, which is insane to me. So I still can't find a good way to get up here. We got some chocolate, a hydro flask, and my favorite charging setup, which is the Jackery. I pretty much only use it for charging phones, and it's definitely overkill for that, but I love this thing. It comes with me on almost every camping trip. On my last camping trip, which was down in the Alvarez Desert, I had a REI 2-person tent, and it is insane how much bigger that tent is than this one. About to head to bed now and zip everything up. Got this nice little platform here for my shoes. And I am on top of the Sequoia, and this is where we're sleeping tonight. Good morning guys, it's 7:30 out here and I just woke up, and honestly I don't really have a lot of negative things to say about last night. I definitely was super tired and needed to catch up on some sleep, but it was probably one of the best nights I've had camping. In terms of just how well I slept, I barely woke up at all, which is pretty unusual. I'd still say by far the biggest issue with this rooftop tent, well, there are a couple, but the biggest two. One, trying to get up and down from it. The Sequoia is very tall, the rooftop tent sits up very high, and then second of all, just the setup time is not ideal. I can't drive around with this. I don't even feel like I can leave the platform up on the top of the Sequoia full time, because if it rains or gets wet, I just wouldn't trust it. I feel like it would kind of pool up. But other than that, it was honestly great, and I actually really enjoyed sleeping up there on the top of the Sequoia. Temperatures last night were honestly not too bad. Had my sleeping bag and a blanket. and it was totally pleasant. My plan was actually to get a rooftop tent for this summer and for camping, but I ended up deciding not to get one simply because they're so expensive. With or without a quality brand rooftop tent, camping in the $100 rooftop tent has still been very enjoyable. Well, it seems I've forgotten my breakfast this morning, which was just, as you guys know, gonna be some oatmeal. So, no breakfast this morning. That's okay though, I'm not super hungry right now anyway. As great as this trip's been, I think it's time to start packing up the tent and putting it away. It's been an amazing morning out here. I've been in the hammock for at least an hour now, just relaxing. And gotta head back to bed now because I gotta get this week's video all wrapped up and have a couple other things to take care of. So compared to some of the rooftop tents where you can put them away in 15 to 20 seconds, with the $100 rooftop tent, you kind of get what you pay for. Between taking your sleeping bag, mat, all of your camping gear out of the tent and putting it away, putting the tent away, it probably takes a good 15 to 20 minutes. So definitely not quite as quick as your traditional rooftop tent. This was just a short camping trip with the purpose of testing out the cheapest rooftop tent for the very first time. And despite the $100 rooftop tent being very inconvenient to set up, the tent itself being very small, and also it just being very hard to get in and out of the tent when it's sitting up on the top of the Sequoia, I still had a great trip. I always find new things very exciting, and this experience of sleeping on the top of my Sequoia was a first for me. I'd say this camping trip definitely went well enough where I'd love to bring the rooftop tent back for another video. So if you guys enjoyed, definitely drop a comment below. Let me know what you thought, and let me know if you want to see more of the cheapest rooftop tent. That is going to wrap it up for today's video of camping in the cheapest rooftop tent. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, definitely don't forget to like and subscribe. It's completely free, and your support really does help me out and allows me to keep going on these camping trips and making these videos for you. If you have any comments or questions, always please feel free to reach out. You can drop them in the comment section below, or you can send me a message on Instagram. My Instagram is Max A. Peters. It's linked in the description of all my videos as well. Definitely feel free to reach out. I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. So that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.